gentlemen, you are now tuned into the highest frequency possible because it's another episode of the PD Skillz Show. And if you're watching on YouTube, it's already spoiled for you. But if you're tuning in on Spotify, Apple, or any other of that goodness, this week we've got, as voted by Ontario Indie Wrestling, the ultimate Ontario indie fan, a guy you see absolutely everywhere if you've been to an indie show lately, the one and only Chops, James Weber. What is good?
How's it going? Yeah. It's good to see you.
Hey, you too, man. Again. And that's been a reoccurring theme lately. And one thing I'll jump right to, it was just one of those things. So, I mean, I made that post. I won't lie. You've been everywhere I've looked lately. I assumed this is the way that the most popular response I would get, but I wanted to see what everybody else had to say. And I was super impressed. I don't know about you, but I watch a lot of things go on. I was worried about asking for an opinion because every time there's an opinion, there's a counter opinion. I've never seen so many people get along and give each other praise. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, it's like, I don't know. I don't think of myself as like a super fan.
Oh yeah, I know, and I get it. It's not like a title to bestow upon someone.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, I want to talk to someone who's everywhere, and I'm like, I feel like it's James Weber, but like, I want to know, like, what's your take? Because to me, this is the guy who like you want to talk to if you want a fan's perspective that's going to all the shows. Like, Ontario Indie is alive and well again. How many shows have you been to since wrestling's been back?
Oh, probably, maybe, I want to say at least maybe 6. I want to say 6. It could be more. I don't keep track. I just, if there's something showing, I'm probably going to be there somehow.
And then how many cities?
Quebec City, Quebec. Then I went to Montreal, then Hamilton, Burlington. I think that's.
See, so it's not even, and it's not like you're going to like the local, like, oh, like there's, because I mean a lot of people run Hamilton. It's not like you're just going to a bunch of like shows that happen to run in one city. Like you're putting miles in.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I don't even see it as that far away or it takes that much time to get there. I just see if that's a show, Google Map, see how I can get there. And I'm like,
you know what? I find the further and further I go, it make like, when I first started, I'd go to like the London area, Tilsonburg, and that seemed like it was excruciating. But then I started going to like the Toronto area, and then I'm like, okay, that's not so bad. And then further, and I'm like, okay, this isn't so bad. And now everything just kind of blends. Yeah,
like once you go there one time, then you already know that it's like it's kind of like a breeze. As long as you even if you have some people with you in the car, it makes it just the time go by quicker.
Yeah, hey, 100%. And I get that. Like more recently, I've found myself traveling with people, and I'm like, yeah, that's much better than the usual me and a pizza and some terrible music.
Yeah, you know, and that's what the bonding experience is all about, is going with people that you like.
Yeah, and hey, you know what? Speaking of the bonding experience, I mean, that's what's cool too, is like, you know, you hit the road, you've become a familiar face. I mean, with the nickname Chops, the look to go with it, you've almost got your own gimmick. So like you're familiar to people. So like and you got that bond even like at the shows. So like, do you find like that's almost like family on the road to you?
Oh, that's half the time. Half the fun of it is to go to different cities so I can meet and hang out with all the friends and everybody that, you know, I might be in Hamilton only once a month, or I might be somewhere else. I might be in Toronto, Mississauga once a month. And then I go there earlier so I can talk to people if they show up. And, you know, if we haven't seen each other in like a whole month, then that's what we do. And that's pretty cool, man. And then once everybody shows up, and then once the show goes on, then I talk to like the wrestlers before or during the intermission, and it just kind of to see how they're doing too.
No, and that's great. And you see that you do your thing too, ringside with Chops, and
Yeah.
you get to see the pictures of you interacting, and you're a guy that's always been super supportive of us and the entire scene, which is amazing. And like you've said before, it's not like for you, it's wrestling.
Yeah.
You show a love for wrestling, and that's cool to see on the whole. Now, where did like going to independent shows, like where did that all start for you? Like what was the first indie show you went to?
The first one was, I think it was Destiny. So I went to a house show. It used to be the Rico Center in Toronto. Yeah. And then at that time, the thing is they were handing out the little pamphlets or the little flyers after the show. So yep. the people were handing them out, and all of a sudden I saw it, and my first reaction was like, Pete Dunne was there. And I'm like, oh, I know Pete Dunne. He's WWE UK champ. And I'm like, he's coming to Mississauga. I'm like, okay.
And that wasn't that long ago.
No, like 5 years-ish.
Yeah, but I mean, the last 2 were pretty much deleted. So to me, that seems like yesterday.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm like, wow.
Because that was the first match with Josh Alexander, right?
That one was no. It was like RJ City.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, I forgot. He won it, and then Josh Alexander beat him, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, I didn't even know who this Destiny was or independent wrestling, and then I saw it. I'm like, I gotta go. I'm like, it's Pete Dunne. Why not? And he was kind of like the top of the
100%. Yeah, because he was the UK champion, wasn't he, at the time? Yeah, he already had the strap at that time.
Yeah, and so I got the front row because I was lucky enough. At that time, Destiny wasn't really like, independent wrestling wasn't kind of like going
as big as it is again.
Yeah. So I got there and sitting right close, like the ring was right there, and like, man, this is like $60. I just paid $40 to sit in the nosebleeds for the WWE show, and so I was like, this is awesome. And
it's I prefer the atmosphere too, the more intimate atmosphere of an indie show.
And just ever since then, like, okay, and then just go on to like the Ontario Indie page on the Facebook, people posting up and their shows, and then I started getting more familiar with them, and I'm like, okay, I just want to embrace it all. Like, that's it. I just want to. I didn't care. I just like, next show, whatever, man. I'm going. And that was like 5 years ago. Like when I was just like, yeah, whatever. And then now I'm like, well, okay, where haven't I got? Like, yeah, it's like I can't. It's just awesome.
So Destiny was the first show that you went to, and have you missed a Destiny show since?
No.
Hey, no, and they've been a good one. Like, there's a lot of, and like, credit to those guys. Like, Destiny's one that I seen take off. Smash, like, there's a lot of promotions that have gotten good recognition. Like, Super Kick had its own like image and style. There's a lot of cool indies that have brought out this, like, I almost want to say super indie vibe, because like they got this steady look to themselves, and it sets themselves apart. It's not necessarily about whose show is better, but they've got this cool identity. I like that.
Oh yeah,
I think that's part of the reason Ontario flourishes.
That's what I say. Like, no matter where you are, I want to say, for me, the price of your ticket to what you see, you pay your $30 for your general admission.
Yeah,
you're gonna get a show at Destiny. It's,
oh hell yeah.
Some people might not say it's the greatest, but for you're paying $30.
Nobody ever says anything's the greatest anymore. That's the fucking part that sucks, because like
no one wants to put their name on the line and say this is the greatest.
No,
because they're afraid to get the backlash.
And that's the thing, is the great, like, you can be great. It can be great. Like, this is great. It's all in the eye of the beholder. It doesn't have to be the greatest, but it could still be fucking great.
Well, like the thing is when I talk about other promotions, I say everyone has their unique style, their unique thing that they bring. It
Yep.
just all depends on how much they put, how much money they want to put in, how much heart they put into their production.
Mhm.
And that's just because some productions are good, like lots of money. Some productions don't have a lot of money, like the
It's like
income.
films too, though, right?
Yeah,
I say wrestling in that respect is like films. Like even on a low budget, if you lean into it, you do it right, and it's got the right feel, it doesn't have to be $1 million Hollywood production.
and the fans too. The fans make the show. You can go to a shitty
Yeah,
show
like
that has
dating back
one.
to ECW, like that's something people always bring up in high regard, and like that was wrestling on a budget at its finest.
Yeah, and like I've seen and been to shows where there's only like 20 people, and the wrestlers seem to put more of an effort because they acknowledge that you're there. They
Oh yeah,
appreciate that you're there.
yeah. The honestly, the real pros will put in the same effort regardless of how many people are in the crowd. I mean, there are certain like styles of wrestling that maybe that may not apply to, but that's necessarily the level of the show. It's not, but yeah, this everybody paid the same amount. It's not on you in the front row to make sure the house is full. You paid the same amount regardless.
Yeah, yeah. And
So over the years, what it like not to put anybody on a pedestal, but like name some of the companies that right away come to mind when like you get your bang for your buck.
C4, I always say C4 is, if you're in the Ottawa area, even if you're like in the Gatineau, you go to C4, it's like $20. I think this one is $35 for general admission because there's not, you can only have a certain amount of fans, so they kind of want to get a little bit
Yeah.
more money. Yeah, but usually it's about $20. They've brought in like Brian Pillman Jr. in, Tom Lawler in. Who else? There's like they have TDT. They're oh,
I like
Speedball goes
TDT.
there.
They're a good act. I've never met
Oh,
them, but like they're a good act.
dude, they are hard. They are hardly the people that go to the merch table. They're one of the hardest people to actually. They may have their T-shirts there, but they don't go and they say hi to you and all that. But you know what? They're my favorite tag team because they're
like I said, I think they're a real cool act.
yeah, like C4. It has like 500 fans usually, and it's in a hall. The crowd.
I've seen a lot of their shows, and like even their most recent one, even though it's under limited capacities, like it was a well put on show. It looked good. Like I enjoyed what I saw.
Yeah, like Alpha One put on like pretty good shows.
Yeah,
getting in the people that they get for a while they had like, I wouldn't say they were on their hot streak, but they would be getting like, they had Orange Cassidy there.
Yep. No, yeah, they had a lot
like,
of good. They had a lot of good talent there, and then I mean,
a lot of good talent.
Obviously, it being Ethan Page's thing, and his relationship with Alexander, like both great wrestlers of went on to great successful things. So that speaks volumes to that. And a lot of guys that they had gotten a chance to work with and liked and brought in there. And it's just it was an all around good combination. Like I even like their championships, like they're different. Like the outer limits and the alpha male, it's not your like world heavyweight champion. That's like another thing, like I was saying earlier, maybe mistakenly I'd left them out because that's another place that has its own complete image, right?
Yeah, and it's hard to, because to get the full aspect of the wrestling's back now. And it's because we're kind of limited on bringing in the superstars from the States.
Yeah.
So we're really getting, and which I like a little bit more, because now we're getting the great local, you want to say local talent, Ontario talent, and we're getting them to shine more than relying on people like bigger stars coming from the States or overseas.
Yeah. That's definitely, the travel thing's been a big holdback for a lot of people, I think.
Yeah.
But like you can do it now. As long as you got the right, like if you got, if you're flying, you're not going, not driving land border. If you're flying, you got your ducks in a row the right way, you can go.
Yeah.
Like you can make it happen. But obviously you can't go. It won't. It's a no fly for going to the States to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's very few indie wrestlers can go to the States to work, and very few American indie wrestlers should be working here, and everybody gets fucked over. But yeah, as far as bigger names, it's hard for their travel restrictions.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
to just honestly to justify paying for that.
Oh yeah.
But I haven't missed seeing huge draws. I mean, we've had some good Canadian guys that are like, top tier Canadian talent. So there's never anything shy of that. And that still makes its way onto the shows. But like everybody's been, I felt on the shows that I've like seen and through the No Ring North show, like fans are hungry for wrestling. Like they're not worried about who your draw is right now. They're worried about, is there a wrestling show?
Yeah. Then that's the thing. It's they're like the No Ring North. It's got its own niche of people that won't maybe necessarily go to like you want to say a normal wrestling show.
Actually, what's funny is I think most of them would.
Yeah, like just for the fact of them, just because it's wrestling.
Yeah,
and that's another thing why I want when I went to Courage Pro and the Next Generation, I wanted to see what Kyle would do in the ring because I saw him at the death. And I'm like, I'm going to see how, like, because it's not really a family-oriented show, but it was not really I wouldn't say his style, because I've only seen him, like, wrestle without that, with, like, and then now...
He'd only done this style really since No Ring North project started. Before that, he was just doing what some might call regular-ass wrestling.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, he had a history before doing No Ring North. That was like his, like, quote unquote hardcore / death match, debut. Okay.
Yeah. Cause it's, and that's another good thing of having that we can have the wrestlers on a show where you might not see them and you give these guys a chance to, to shine.
Yeah. I was really pumped to see Kyle on Courage like that, and I just seen it today. They just advertised that him and Wade are going at it again.
Yeah.
While I keep plugging him though, I should probably always take a pause and say, "Fuck you, Kyle. I'm your daddy, and this is what I do." But yeah, it's good to see, it's good to see that, like, when people will go from show to show and recognize the difference and, have that curiosity, like, oh, I want to see them in this different environment.
Yeah. Like, then that's the thing. Like, if it's your favorite wrestler and they're going somewhere, why are you not going to the show?
Yeah.
That's what it just blows my mind on. I won't go to this one because of whatever reason, and I'm like, but if it's your favorite wrestler, I would want to go. I don't care who else is on the card. I'll pay my $20 just to see the guy for 15 minutes in the ring.
Yeah,
and go talk to him, buy a T-shirt.
There's so many times, like when I was younger as a wrestler, where I'm like, man, I wish I really would have just, like, swallowed my stupid ass ego and went and did these certain things and, like, took in the fan experience a little more. Like my favorite wrestler growing up, Shawn Michaels. My last opportunity to meet him was probably at like a car show, but I like felt weird about like going over there and like doing the fan experience. And I'm like, man, that was stupid.
Yeah, and then you're like, man, I could have just talked to him.
Yeah.
And it was like the one time a story would be when I went to Greektown Wrestling.
Yeah.
Channing Decker's one in Toronto, and it was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. He was there, and we got into the ring, and Channing's like, "Come here, okay, you're gonna get in the ring and take a picture." I'm like, "Okay," and I got up there and very humble. Like Ricky was very humble, and so I was just, thank you. This is you were my childhood guy growing up. Watching the ring, and he's like, "Okay, we're gonna put the Hall of Fame ring on, and we're gonna take a picture." And like, I literally almost started crying. I almost
Right.
started crying, and I'm like, I'm not ashamed. I almost started crying because like
I get it.
just the emotion of, like
Yeah.
that's my, and I would have never went to do that if I said, what, I'm going. I don't care. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it was just like a good experience, a good memory, and I'll always cherish that one.
What are like, you have any like upcoming shows planned to go to? Like what's next? What's next on Chops' agenda?
What's next?
Yeah, where
Okay,
are we going to be ringside with Chops next?
Okay, so this is it's Thanksgiving weekend, so this is my last weekend for a while since I'm not going to do nothing. So like, next week is IWS in Montreal on Saturday. The week after that is Seaway Valley in Cornwall. They have the two shows.
Yeah.
The two shows. Then on the 30th is the Man Lucha in Mississauga. Then the 31st is Destiny. I'm coming back and forth to that day.
Woo!
Yeah, and then the 6th, I'm stoked about this because I'm going to. It's an hour outside of Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
It's called FM Loot. Channing Decker's going to be there. Kobe Dersh's going to be there.
Yep.
That's going to be like the weekend. I have to finish work, take the bus to get the train to Montreal, spend the night there.
Putting in them fucking kilometers.
And then the week after that is C4 on Friday in Ottawa. We're hoping to get tickets for that because as soon as they go on sale, they're sold out like the last time.
Yeah.
So that's a Friday. Then the Saturday, we're spending the night in Ottawa. Then we're gonna drive to Montreal for IWS, and then we're trying to make it to the Courage Pro show. We're probably gonna miss it on the first show, the Next Generation.
Yeah.
But we're trying to make it for I think it's the 4:00 show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's on the Sunday. So it is about a 6
That's
hour.
cool that they've been doing those back-to-back shows.
Back to back, like you're paying $30 or whatever for a whole day entertainment.
Yeah, day pass.
Yeah, and NSW did that for the women's tournament and the normal show, and that was $40 for like both shows. I think it was $40 or $30 for both shows.
Yeah,
and you can't go wrong for that.
Yeah,
and it's a day of wrestling, and it was just great. I like that. They should have more of those.
Hey, 100%. I'd like to see like different companies do weekends.
Yeah,
work together to produce weekends. I mean, I know everybody's got their own vision. It's probably a hard thing to do. But I'd like to see people make it happen.
Yeah, like you want to say too many egos. Let's say.
Yeah, I wouldn't even. Yeah, it's not even that. I'd say it's too many like visions, and everybody's know it's bosses. Like people, they run their own thing and they have their own crowds, and it's hard to get everybody's guys in. But like it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see for a weekend.
Like NSW used to do that, and then Alpha One on the same day. So they would kind of like just split the cost of the hall and the ring and the cost of everything.
I always say to like Chad, I'm like, hey, if we ever worked, with another promotion like for a No Ring North show, that's pretty easy. You just do one in the parking lot, one inside.
Yeah. And you know what? You can do it. And then you could do it back and forth. One show outside, and then the next match is inside.
Yeah. I'd be like, sorry guys, I have to have all my matches outside on account of my habits.
Yeah, so that and then that's the middle of November, so and then we go from there.
Jeez. Yeah. Loaded up schedule there.
Yeah.
And who are some of the guys that over the years you've got, like, as far as watching their in-ring work, that you've enjoyed watching evolve?
Aiden Prince for sure. Aiden Prince. He his new gimmick is, well, you want to say his new gimmick, but his his kind of change of style, his change of direction as a wrestler is, was just recently was good. Like even Channing Decker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I obviously love Aiden Prince. He's a fellow Wins, right? Me and him grew up together, shit like that. So
and Channing Decker came from like I saw him at the fraternity with him and Trent, and then gradually get back to where he is now. It's
doing the hardcore stuff.
Yeah. And Kobe Durst has changed pretty good. Like he's kind of like just a little bit below Channing Decker on the crazy aspect, not in the really deathcore matches, death matches.
Yeah,
but like,
I get what you mean. Like he'll do a couple like special like stipulation matches, stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's pretty. Those are the guys that kind of stand out. Of like they're seeing them when I first started to seeing where they are now.
Yeah. I'm surprised Josh Alexander was not on that list.
Well, Josh is my boy. See,
I think it's almost an automatic at this point with Ontario. Like Josh, Ethan, like those,
It's really,
I just figure because I'm like, man, really? If you started with Destiny, I'm like, how was that a miss?
It's from day one. Day one, as soon as I saw him in the ring, I go, "That's my guy. That's my guy." As soon as I saw him, like, you know what? Yeah, and then I seen him, his gradual of just him being taking the art more, not more serious, but
more serious. He'll say it himself. He took it more serious.
Dedication.
And completely dedicated. Fucking bet on himself. Like good on him.
Yeah, like that. Like Ethan Page. There's another guy at work that we kind of talk indies with, and then just talk normal wrestling. And he's like, "Yo, Ethan's getting in shape. He's gonna be
tightest tits in the game."
Yeah. Like he's marketing himself for that. Like his vlog, getting in shape. Like, I'm not saying I'm not saying Josh had like an aspect, but like maybe he's like, hey, you know what? If you want to make this like your business, tighten shit up. Like,
yeah, well, and you know what? They're both two completely different types of wrestlers too, which was cool that, when they were a tag team.
Yeah.
That's what kind of made them work. But like they're two completely different like spectrums. Like one they're both good wrestlers, but like whereas Paige has more of that like, entertainers vibe, where Josh has the like pure athlete vibe.
Oh yeah, like you want to go to see a wrestling match, you go see Josh.
Yeah.
Ethan, more theatrics, more of.
I don't even want to say I want to say that's the problem. Is I want to say sports entertainment, but so many people like associate that to being the WWE thing. But sports entertainment doesn't have to be associated necessarily WWE or be a bad thing. It is what it is, and it's it's a very important aspect of professional wrestling.
Oh yeah, like, and that's the thing. Like, if you wanted to be something or go somewhere, or get more eyes on you, you have to be at the shows.
Yeah, and I want more Ethan Pages as far as characters and MJFs, like real fucking douchebag heels. Like I love that shit.
Like it's like we'll say Matt Grant. We'll put Matt Grant in there where he's hated everywhere, and he's always like,
but like, it's just actually no. I think MJF's the only one in that conversation that has absolutely no fucking chill.
Yeah, like, hey, if you pay me $5, $10 for an autograph, and all you getting is a middle finger. I'm just gonna put a middle finger on it. You're not even getting my signature.
I appreciate that when I third person watch Matthew Grant wrestle, I can still hate him, because like having him on social media and on my show and talking to him, and how public he was with his wedding, everything like that.
Oh yeah.
How the fuck do you hate the guy? And then you go to the show and you fucking hate him.
Oh yeah, and that's the whole thing I love about it is you can boo a wrestler, you can cheer a wrestler, but as soon as the lights go on or like go on after intermission, after the show, you go to the merch table, you're hugging and just laughing away because they know
Oh
that
yeah.
it's the difference, and you can tell the difference between.
And they always got good merch.
Oh yeah, they're always
Pick up their new toque, designed by yours truly.
Oh yeah. I got one of those, and I was actually when I was at HPW on the Friday, I woke up Friday morning and I'm like, okay, I'm going to HPW. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get. I already had that in my brain on what picture I want from them. So I'm like, when I got to HPW, I'm like, yo, you got to get that flag so we can hold the flag up.
Yeah.
And the tunnel running, and as soon as I think, okay, you try the ring. So as soon as I did that, there was a lineup. There was a line, like everybody wanted to do it. And I'm like, yo, Matt, charge like $5 or $10, make some money, hold up the
hurry up.
Yeah, like and it seemed like I was the picture guy. Everybody's sending me the phone. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, picture, yeah, okay, guys, I gotta go talk to her, like mingle, I can't, But yeah, that was. I love taking pictures like that of just random stuff or just crazy faces and
and it's awesome to see. And I mean, if anybody listening, watching, wants to see some of that action out there that Chops is taking in, make sure you check out Ringside with Chops on Facebook.
Yep.
Is it on?
Yep.
Do you have something on Twitter or anything like that?
I got Twitter. Yeah, Twitter's usually just straight indies, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'll usually post some matches, like some video clips. I'll take the wrestlers, upcoming shows. My Instagram. If I'm at a show, Instagram live, like the Instagram stories are just rolling. Like
that I have seen.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Now, do you mostly take in just independent, or do you take in a fair share of like mainstream wrestling?
Not really. Like the mainstream, like I'll go to Windsor for Impact. WWE hasn't been here.
Yeah.
Like in a while, so like I don't.
But I mean, even as far as watching on television.
Like honestly, I used to. I haven't watched it maybe for like 2 months.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm just busy, just getting back to like normal life of going to work, working out, and then on the weekends I'm usually out, so I really don't have that much time.
Mm-hmm.
When I was when we were in the COVID times, I would stay up to watch the wrestling, and I would watch all of it. But now it's just I can't spend 20 hours when I only have about 2 hours to get like my own time from my place, because I wake up so early.
I try to watch a lot of it on delay so I can skip the commercials.
Yeah, like it's easy. Like I'll if I want to, I'll watch the New Japan more than anything.
That's your cup of tea if you're gonna take the time out to watch the mainstream.
I'll keep in track with like Impact because it's some of the wrestlers on there that I interact with at the shows, and I like to see them do their thing. WWE, not so much. Like Karrion Kross, pretty much, and then like the old the tag titles from NXT. They used to be the Rascals.
Yeah.
So following those guys. I don't care. You could go to WWE, you can go to AEW. I'll still follow you.
Hey, this is one thing I looked up early when they made the switch to NXT. Does anybody know what MSK stands for yet?
No.
Okay, so no one knows yet. Okay, I've been trying to I tried to figure that out when they first got transferred over. I was like, what in the fuck does this mean? And it's probably something sentimental or something, or I don't know. Yeah. Or something completely ridiculous. Either or, I don't know what it is.
Oh. Yes.
All right. So do a little bit of fantasy booking here, because it's not often, it's hard for me to get the workers to fantasy book, but I could definitely get this done with you. Let's go with 3. If we're booking a fantasy card, what are your top 3 matches? Like, what's something you would really like to see? And like, it could be a repeat if you've never seen it in a main event, I guess. But like, what's something like with the guys you see, the guys you like? What is your ultimate like top 3 on a card?
Top three. Oh, man. I I'm a I love Will Ospreay. Like Will Ospreay
Yeah.
is awesome. So I would
Okay.
like to face him with maybe an Aiden Prince.
Ooh.
They have similar styles. They can go against each
Yeah.
other. Like a tag team. Yeah, like man, like
No,
TDT.
I'd be down with that match.
Yeah, like it's like if yeah, like I
You
don't
put
know,
Aiden
it's just
Prince in a position like that, he'll deliver too.
oh for sure. I've never seen
Fucking
a
bet.
bad Aiden
Always.
Prince match ever. Even though maybe he says he sucks that day, but no.
I mean, I have, but
uh yeah, like TDT probably there, yeah, like I want to say maybe the Good Brothers, like or like the Good Brothers, possibly. You got some you got the big guys, and then you
yeah.
got the guys that would just put people through the table.
Actually, you know
So
what? I forget that me and Prince talked about it on my show. I always forget that I'm at liberty to say that. I've only seen a shitty match of his because I've known him since he backyarded.
uh yes. And I I I would like to see a Josh match, but I've seen him face so many different people
Yeah.
that no like no matter who you put him up against,
Yeah. I'm pumped
he
for him
will.
against Christian,
Yes.
but it's well, I mean, you couldn't have one without the other, so it's hard for me to feel robbed of how, like seeing like a him and Kenny Omega match. I thought that would have been dope.
Yeah, like
I wanted
Kenny
it to be
Omega.
like a current Impact member to beat Kenny Omega. At least Christian, someone who made sense.
Yeah. Like yeah, Moose, and then like Sammy Callahan, like Rich Swan.
Yeah, I just
So,
mean if it was going to be a non-current Impact
yeah,
wrestler to do it, at least it was Christian Cage who has history there.
yeah, yeah.
So I
But
mean
we
that's at
all
least
know
good.
Josh is taking the title. Like he has to take the title. Let's just say it's well deserved. I would
Yeah, oh 100%.
he
100%.
what
I'm not
what
in the
he's done.
know on that, so I'm just like honestly, I okay. I try to watch those shows as like I always try to watch those shows as a fan and ignore because of the Ontario involvement in some of them.
Yeah,
I try to ignore social media as much as possible because nothing sucks more than when I've got like family stuff going on or whatever the case is, and just before I go to watch it, for some stupid reason, I log on Facebook and Josh Alexander's status is and still, and I'm like, motherfucker,
yeah.
I
I
wanted to
wanted to.
watch. I
Yeah, I
wanted to
wanted to
watch.
watch. Yeah, I'm happy, but still, man,
I'll
I wanted
still
to watch
watch, and
this.
I honestly I still watch, but like
Yeah,
I like
you know,
being able to get lost in a match is like a really big important part of it for me. So I try to avoid spoilers at all costs.
yeah,
Like no secret, my show's pre-recorded. Like we're recording during Dynamite right now. It's their anniversary show.
yeah,
I really want to watch that, and it's going to be hard for me to edit this, get everything ready for Facebook and all that, and all of social media to automatically post without totally fucking myself over and finding a spoiler.
uh, like it's like I would like to see maybe a women's match. Women's wrestling's gotta get up there a little bit more for recognition.
Mm-hmm.
It's trying to, but it's still a little bit on the back burner.
Well, you know what? And I've seen shit. I'm trying to see HWE or
Yep.
is it HWE? Yeah, they just got a women's title.
There was it
It
was
was for the Hamilton
and
Wrestling.
like NSW had the women's title that they just had with
Yeah, I
the
just mean they just got a nice brand new women's. I mean, I saw their one recently, and
yeah
they're doing something for that. I mean, some of my like I've for years I mean we've seen Cherry Bomb came out of Ontario who was
yep
who's Bunny now, and we've seen quite a few like ladies. Well, I mean, Lufisto for me is one that's popular
yeah
as far as from a hardcore base, and even like like as far as Quebec, Ontario, all over stuff like that. You see her around out of a lot of shows. Casey Spinelli, she's been one of the females I've seen on a lot of shows do well over the years. It's I'm trying to it's hard because there's the shows that have been recently and also trying to rewind from before the pandemic.
Like, yeah, there's like Jody Threat.
Yep, Jody Threat,
Jody
and
Threat.
then like Jessie Mack. She's she's
Jesse
done a
Mack.
lot of different styles in a lot of different companies. Like there's a
Yeah,
lot of
like
good women out there.
Alexia Nicole,
Yep.
she got injured a little bit, so it's kind of sad that she got injured at the kind of the wrong time because wrestling's coming back, and now she has to kind of
She'll come back strong though.
Yeah, but she still has to kind of like wait a little bit, but like
we ain't packing the houses yet. That's what's good. It's almost like a soft launch. I know wrestling's back, but it's like a soft launch. So we ain't packing houses yet. So if you're still healing, you're still figuring it out. Like it's all good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And then you have like there's like Crystal Moon that's pretty good. And like there's Shiloh that's pretty like there's like those are the
there's lots of female talent in the province. So yeah, like you said, it'd be good to see that also get a spotlight.
Yeah, just not like a 5-minute match. Like that's why the show was good, to just showcase a whole show of the women's talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And give it to them. Like
the first, I don't know if they were the first to do it, but 365 Wrestling, when they were PWA, they did all women shows. Like that was their big, like that was one of the things I remember about them being pretty big, is they were the first I seen doing all women's like show shoot off.
Yeah, like there's I think it's in Quebec. They have,
I feel like that's back when there's like like obviously I don't know how many of these names would be familiar to you, but like 21st Century Fox, Portia Perez, like names like that. Like God, I'd have to go back and look at all the names, to be honest with you. Like it was a long ass time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I can name some of the women that were around, but I can't guarantee they're on that show. So I'm like, I don't want to quote them as being on that show.
Yeah. Like there's the one in Quebec was like a femme fatale, which is kind of like they had their own title, and it was strictly like maybe a couple of months or so that they would bring in as like a kind of a tournament style. And
even death matches over time have started crowning their queens equivalently.
Yeah.
And WWE is finally doing a female equivalent to King of the Ring.
Yep.
With the Queen's Crown. So I mean, yeah, that's on the rise too. So where is it exactly? Because I mean, you told me you've got all your social media tags there. Where can people find all your journeys in professional wrestling?
Yeah. So on Instagram and Twitter, it's ringside_with_chops, which is strictly just mostly indie stuff. Whatever, like not really mainstream stuff unless it's somebody that's kind of like an Ontario or local or one of my favorite guys. Okay. I'll post it. I do have my own Facebook with Ringside with Chops, which is kind of, I'm trying to get more the special aspect of it, where I take a special photo with someone, or there's a special video. I'll put it on there. I do Ontario Indies, the Facebook, the page. I'll clip a couple of matches or shows that I go to that I really like. Then I'll just post it that, and so everybody can see what it's more, instead of if they've never gone to a show, well then they can see kind of what it's like.
You don't give no finishes away though, do you? You don't give finishes away.
No.
Okay.
No. Not really.
You're like, wait a second. I don't know. Maybe not intentionally.
I don't know. Unless it was the Rip Impact situation. I posted that, which is like, you know what? It was a special occasion. Let's just say that. Everybody was happy to an extent.
So so another question for you. I won't keep it too much longer.
No, but as long as you want.
Oh, I know. I want to grill you on a couple more things here. So I mean, obviously, what brought us to this episode, I went out to our Ontario community. I asked about some of the names that might be considered, the ultimate like fan to talk to, reach out to this. Who would you try? Who are a couple names that might have been able to take the interview as well? I mean, I strictly want to work on a referral basis, and I don't want this to be the last time I do something like this.
Yeah, like for sure. Matt, that's in Ottawa.
Yeah,
he helps like he does figurines, like clay figurines, and he puts them in the shoe boxes and he hands them to the wrestlers. And it could be,
I know what you're talking about. Yes, I've seen his work.
yeah, like those stuff like that. That to me is awesome because it's like AEW guys, whatever, WWE, whatever guys. Brian Prince Poppy, he's good. He's knowledgeable of the Hamilton scene.
Yeah,
And all that. And then my buddy Matt Henter, he's my go-to guy, my road guy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. We're laughing all the time. He's a solid guy. He's smart too. Like he's very indie smart. Let's say that.
Yeah.
And those are pretty much almost the three guys that are sociable too. That kind of talk to people around. And just not sit in the chairs when they're at the shows. So, yeah.
And then now we'll grill you with a couple hardballs.
Okay.
Have you ever had a time at a show where a guy was just a dick?
No. I don't think so.
That's the response I expected because I don't know. I was like, how can anybody be a dick? Like, because I mean, I've seen a lot of people be dicks, but like to certain fans, or like they're good with certain fans. So I was kind of curious about that.
Yeah, like you might say something, and then the wrestler, if he's an ass, he'll turn around and throw you like an insult.
Yeah.
Like, but it's an all harmless fun because it's not really hurting him.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, oh, you want to insult me? Okay, I'm going to insult you. And that's all it is. It's just plain fun.
And then on the flip side, because we got to get the good with the bad, what has been probably your favorite experience as an independent wrestling fan? Like favorite interaction with a wrestler?
Favorite interaction? Oh, good. I got like a quick little story.
Good. No, that's what I was hoping. If it was a good favorite interaction, I hope it would come with one.
This is me. This is always my thing, because like when it had to be Josh Alexander.
Yeah.
So here's the story of when he got signed with Impact. He's finished at Destiny. Scott D'Amore comes out, calls him out, and he's like, "Oh, you're not the best. You're not the best unsigned. You're the best. You're the best signed Impact." And everybody's like, "Yeah, this is awesome. I'm recording it." And I'm like, "You deserve it." And I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm actually crying.
Oh yeah, that was a big moment.
And in that time, Josh was traveling all around Ontario to showcase his talents anywhere, anywhere. And he really wanted to, that was his goal, was to be the best of Ontario. And then I went back, and then after the show, I went up and I'm like, "Oh, congratulations." And Shooting the Indies guy, GT, was there. The guy that takes the photograph.
Yeah.
Of all the rest of the Shooting the Indies guy. He looks at me, he's like, "Were you crying?" And I'm like, "Yeah," because he already knew. Because
you've been like, "No, you were crying."
Like, he's like, to me, he's like, "Were you crying, Chops?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Guilty.
But that was one of the best moments ever for me as a fan of him. Like, you worked hard, and now you've got it. You've got it, and that's your hard work. And yeah, that was one of the best moments.
Yeah, and he continues to keep that momentum up. So it was kind of cool to, probably to be there for live for that, beginning to it.
Yeah, and I was also, when I was in Windsor for the Impact tapings, I was there when he made his first debut.
Yeah.
like with the champs when they were the champs at the time, and I'm like sitting front row, and I'm like just thinking that's your best friend beside you, and you're
Impact
doing
still
good.
owes us lockdown. Windsor
Yes,
City is owed
yes,
lockdown.
that's what I said. Just can't win it until Impact comes back to Ontario.
Yeah.
He can't win the title, so that's not happening.
That'd be dope. But
Yeah.
that'd be the ultimate, is being able to make that happen in Ontario. But no, fuck it, pull the trigger now. He's hot. Don't have him give up the X Division title for nothing.
Yeah, and then resign him. Once he wins the title.
If he doesn't beat Christian for the title, I'll be, one, very surprised, and then two, very interested to see how they do the rebuild.
Yeah, where he kind of not where he kind of goes from there, because he was the mid, like not a mid card, but he wrestled everybody.
Oh, I would be interested in seeing the angry fuck everybody up version of Josh Alexander. That would be very nice.
Where he throws the headgear.
And he's got one of the fucking prettiest punches.
Oh yeah.
He does fucking dead on beautiful punches. I'd love to see a vicious side of him where he's just a killer. But who knows? I mean, right now, obviously, they're both positioned as good guys. We're either going to get a wrestling classic or somebody's going to have to push the limit. So that'll be cool to see. And I feel like if they were going to do that, it'd have to be Josh.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The hungrier of the two should be the one to be the more vicious.
Yeah, because, like, not saying that Christian doesn't deserve it anymore, but
oh yeah, he always deserves it.
You got the title, you took the title. Now it's time to.
Hey, but it's great. Bound for Glory, all Canadian main event. Beautiful day.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's at 10 o'clock at night. They're saying something about 10 o'clock at night or something. There's something else going on that day.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. They wanted to push it back. That's what I heard.
Oh, if there's something big enough going on, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. Because they want to get the viewership still.
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy it anyways. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. Just to do that. I don't
yeah, that's something definitely I'm going to be watching, whether it's live, whether it's on delay. That's one I like to catch.
Yeah.
That's their big card. You know, they always put on a good show for that.
Whoever else is going to show up, who knows?
Yeah, a lot of names out there.
Yeah.
That are floating around and nobody knows where they're going to land. So that's also interesting right now too. It's a great time for wrestling. There's so many, when a name's set into the wild, there's so many places that can pop up.
Yeah, like that's no matter.
And they're not committed to that one other place lately. Like everything.
Oh man, yeah, like
everywhere.
Man, freaking Minoru Suzuki. Like,
I'm in love with the fact that he's everywhere right now.
Oh, there's a picture with him and Danhausen. And they were just joking around on Danhausen's it's on the story, and I'm like, that's another guy where I'm like, you know what? I don't want to mess with him. Even if he's just fooling around, that guy is he may be old, but he can still whip ass.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
He's like one of my favorites too of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know, yeah. That and Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston's my boy.
Oh, I love Eddie Kingston. He's someone that. Yeah, he grew on me big time. Man. Like when he's got, like, obviously he doesn't have a lot of flash to him, so like it took me a minute to, like, it wasn't until I heard him on the mic and put it all together that I was like, fuck, I love this dude.
Yeah,
he's as real as it gets on the mic.
Oh yeah, like it's really one of those where you just sit there. Okay, you shut up. I just want to hear him talk.
Yeah, he gets me fired up. He can talk about anything.
Yeah.
He can talk about kittens and shit, and I'd probably be like, yeah, fucking kittens.
Buy that t-shirt.
Yeah.
Put it on the t-shirt. I'm gonna buy it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been a good act. And then Moxley's another one that's been everywhere too. Like he's doing the GCW main event now.
Yeah, he's
he's the champion, obviously, so he's doing the main event. Like he's got that match with Gage.
Yeah.
I was surprised we got Jericho engaged before we got Moxley engaged.
Yeah, it's like it's.
Do you watch any of the GCW stuff?
No, not really. Not.
Just if there's something that's like your attention's been brought to you, really.
Yeah. Like there's like that Matt Cardona was good where he like
Did you watch the Matt Cardona Nick Gage death match?
Like, oh, he's just shows up and I'm like, who would ever thought that in this day and age, not saying WWE is the end all of be all, but when you leave and you get fired, you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You could be a free agent for anybody, and you wanna pay me like Braun Strowman showed up at a show.
Yeah.
Like I know he was paid. I know he wanted stupid amount of money to appear, and that's why he's probably no indie guy's probably gonna.
No, I think he's someone that's gonna need to be signed. I don't see him making too many indie appearances.
No. But yeah, still like John Moxley going this, and just everybody's. It's just a good time, like, and that's why AEW is. I want to say is good. Like for me, it's good, not great, but
yeah,
you're bringing in everybody, like Daniel Garcia. Oh, Daniel Garcia.
Yeah,
oh, like
it's my favorite. Honestly, like I no shame. I say AEW is my favorite product right now.
Yeah,
and just like we said, like way early in the conversation, things don't need to be the greatest to be great. So I mean, as it stands. There's a lot of great things going on for them right now. So like,
and there's something for everyone.
Right direction.
Like I watched Daniel Garcia make his debut in Smash.
Yeah.
And that was maybe 5 years ago. And this is when I'm saying he's determined.
Oh yeah.
And look where he is. Look where he is now. He's not even 25. Maybe he's 25 or 24, something like that.
That's one thing too, and maybe that's part of my bias too. Is AEW is given a lot of opportunity to people like from this area, whether it be just over on the other side of the border or here.
Yeah, like Ricky Shane Page was on there.
Yeah,
and
for me, it was cool to see like Josh Mavato on Dark.
Yeah,
that was a cool one for me. That I like their new setup for Dark. Have you seen it?
Oh, I seen a little bit. Like I haven't caught up to. Like,
it's like very OG NXT, old school TNA-ish, but it like obviously with their setup, the Dark setup, and it's cool. I dig it.
Yeah, and like that, you got to give credit to AEW for kind of having on the indie scene, like they're not their fingers, but picking like somebody up or calling them up and saying, hey, be on the show, you can be in a match and we'll give you don't need to job to someone. You can still wrestle.
Yeah, they have a good match. Maybe it's not the longest, but no one's getting smashed.
Yeah, like Kevin Bennett was on there, Blackwood was on there.
If someone's getting smashed though, you also see them have great matches for like a few more weeks in dark elevation.
Just kind of given their okay, well maybe you weren't so good with this guy. We'll team you up with this guy.
Yeah, and
we'll
it looks like they like I said, they take care of people. They don't make anybody a complete jobber. Like it's great.
It's great, yeah.
But all right, we're hitting that hour mark, so I'm going to wrap it up for now. As we found, you know where to find Chops, Ringside with Chops. Find them fucking everywhere. Online, at a show. I literally mean everywhere. It's not like Waldo where he's hard to find. He's easy to find. He's got the red chops. He's in your city. He's all up in that bitch supporting independent wrestling. And I do appreciate you being on the show, man. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. Anytime, man. This is fun.
Until next time, you guys know where to find me at PD Skillz Show, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. And thanks for tuning in, whether you watch the show or tuned in on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Podbean, any of that good stuff. Until next time, buy one of my shirts. I'm PD Skillz, and this is Chops. And it's been a great fucking chat. And we're out, bud.
Yeah. All right.